drop a screwdriver.
Good afternoon. Apologies for looking like someone who's homeless. I still haven't had a haircut. I suppose it's really academic, it doesn't really matter. More things have happened, so which is good. I've taken off the curved side pieces off here now, which we're stripping down further. I've got that plumbing bonnet piece, now bumper piece out. That was a faff. I had to drill the bolts. Which doesn't really matter, I can replace him, and I'm going to put hex heads in instead, because Torques are just awful. They just chew up bits and they're not very good. Anyway, struggling to get the bonnet off. It's held here and here. That bolt, can we see that? That's fine, that one. That's coming out, I've loosened that off. This one is, there's a captive nut in here, and the captive nut's loose and it's spinning, so I can't get that bolt out, which I need to do to take off. There's a bolt in there behind and one in there behind as well to take off this trim piece. I need to get I've got the wipers off as well and these handles, but I was worried about having to take out the windscreen to treat the rust on this side of it. You can see all that. It's surface, it'll treat up, but I thought I'd have to take the screen out. Turns out the screen's bonded in, but I think this piece will come off without taking the screen out, which is a bonus. And it's been off before because these screws are missing, same on the other side. So it's had a new screen, or it's been off for some reason, but it's a faff under. Can we get in and have a look? It's too dark really. It's really tight and there's a couple of bolts, but if that comes off without having to take the screen out, that's a really big bonus because I can treat all that then. So yeah, the front end's pretty much stripped down to where we need to be. Let's use music before YouTube kills me. Right, we're back. We've drilled them, the heads aren't off, but they're deep enough that I can hammer a screwdriver in and drop a screwdriver. What a palaver this is. So, that's not coming out yet. These go through to the back wheels. Right, that's the length of the bolt. Turn that torch off because I'm blinding everybody. I drilled the head out, can you? Can't really see that. Well, that's enough to hammer a screwdriver in, which gives it enough. Hopefully anyway. That's just the first one. I'm doing it. Oh. Small. Not that one either. More small. Not that one. These two need a bit more drilling out. But that's the principle anyway. The vibration of the drill worked like it's kind of like an impact driver. That one you can see. Can you see? It's hard to tell, this camera doesn't focus close up. Well, I've nearly drilled through, so that head's nearly off. And you can't see in there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So we just have to be a bit violent with it all. Yeah, that's not doing it. All the swaths inside, the screwdriver's magnetic. Bit more drilling, we'll have these two out. And what else have we done? Doors. I've been stripping the door, and that's taped. I taped it shut because of the wind at night. Excuse me, sorry. But we've taken all the door cards out, door handles. I've left the catches in, so I've taped those over, hence the do not close, because we shut that and it catches. Then we're going to, well, we'll pull a cable to get the door. But anyway, I've just done it for ease. And we've got bits of tape on. I tape them shut at night. So that's the doors in pieces. I'm probably going to take the glass out as well, on all four of them. Just so I can give it a clean up, and maybe just look at the trims on it, the seals, and see if we need anything new with those. I think they're all right, so that's a good thing. And then we can get all this is horrible grease in here. Yeah, it's disgusting. So we can clean all that up, and then I can stick some more sound deadening in, because it's got some in here, but it needs a bit of sound deadening, which is not the end of the world, but I can sound deaden and then insulate that. No glass in, the glass is over here. So these are the glass pieces and all the trims. And I didn't manage to break anything, which was really nice. So we've got all the little blue bags, they're just freezer bags, but I've labelled them up and taped them up. So we know where all the nuts and bolts are. And then can we see that? This on this side's taken a bashing on the cab. On the other side is a little bit worse, and it's a bit rusty as well. So I'm going to have a play at that. I've got cab persuasion tool, a little drift, and a smaller hammer for delicate work. I've got a few other bits and bats, but I'd like to straighten those out and get the rest of the cab in pieces. We're going to take I've bent these back out a little bit. That had a right good hide in that one. It was all stoved in up here. The other one over there isn't too bad, but I've straightened it out as well as best I can, as good as it needs. It's a 20-year-old truck, or 25-year-old nearly now. It's 2000. I'm going to take all the mirrors off. This one's already fallen to bits because the glass fell out. It dropped out, I've caught it. Get the lights off the top and get the front visor off, because I'm sorely tempted to paint the cab myself while it's in pieces. Instead of putting it all back together to get it for an MOT and then take it all apart again to paint, or have someone to paint it. If we can paint it in the next couple of weeks, we should be able to catch the weather so it's not too cold, and it'll also save a pile of cash, which we have a budget for painting, but we'd set it aside. But if I can save a couple of grand on paint and do it myself, I think that'll be all right, because it's not going to be a concourse vehicle, we're going to do it in a bedliner, probably like a Raptor paint or something hard wearing and industrial, at least a military paint, not military colours, but you know, a tough paint. But at the moment, Raptor or equivalent is the consensus, because glossy is nice, but you get a few adventure stripes down it, and your £3 paint job all of a sudden looks like not a £3 paint job. So it's going to be form versus function, really. But we've yet to decide on the colour. It's obviously not staying orange because it looks like a B&Q delivery truck. Current consensus, classic Land Rover colours I think are at the top of the pile at the moment. We initially thought a dark blue for the cab, so the orange, and the box would be a darkish grey maybe. It'd look nice, but then it would look a bit like an Amazon delivery van as well. We don't know. We just don't know. But we're thinking lighter colours as well for better heat reflection. So it'll be cooler it'll be insulated anyway, obviously, but cooler in the summer. And white underneath, at least on top, to help keep the solar panels cooler, because they generate heat as well. So, or they don't dissipate heat as much underneath, I should say. So yeah, light blues, sage greens, we're not sure yet. Excuse me, sorry about that. And there we are at the moment. But yeah, all the doors are taped them shut just to stop the wind catching them at night, and they've got no handles on. And I've taped over all the catches. So we've got the door. This is like the metal support bracket for the windows. That's off this passenger side door. So they're all in pieces. But yeah, we'll take the glass out, insulate them. And I'm sorely tempted to paint the cab myself. Save us a bit of time. There's your... They've had a bash in, but I'll straighten that out as best I can with a hammer. Sand back the rust, and we'll rust treat it, and there we go. And that should be it. I've got some holes to fill in the roof, which I showed you the other week when... Can we see those? That's where the old lights were, off the sirens and the searchlight thing we had. So I'll get some body filler and paint those, and fill those and paint those, sorry. And then we can now look at insulating the cab itself. Even though we're going to, thinking about painting it, the crawl through will be yet to cut in, but I didn't really want to cut the crawl through after it had been painted, but I don't know what size the crawl through is, I don't know positions or anything like that yet. And the box isn't being built until the 16th or so. So we can't really do the crawl through. That'll have to be done afterwards. So we'll tape it off and frame it out as and when necessary. It's not a big problem really. And then that's it, I think. Chassis still needs painting. I keep putting that off. Well, painting it needs prepping as well. I keep putting it off. I'll do that. I'll probably roll into next week now, because I'm still taking these doors apart. I've got to take that visor off the top. What else do I need to do? Take the mirrors off and the marker lights on top, and try and get that bonnet off. So that's my job for today, and probably tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, and that should see us into the weekend. All fun. I'm struggling to get this bonnet off, which is held on the bracket there. This one in here. Light doesn't help. That focus in there, the tip of the screwdriver, is a captive nut by the looks of it, and it's just spinning on that torqued. So I'm gonna have to cut all the way through that, which is brilliant. The other bolt's loose, like I said, so we'll have to cut that, make you seasick, and then we can get the bonnet off. Well, we've cut it, which we needed to do. Can I get the light in there? Yeah. To get that bolt out. There's a bonnet. I wasn't filming it, but it's a good job because it nearly fell off and smashed me in the face, so you'd have all had a good laugh. the other bolt. Can we focus on that? No, not focusing on that today. Anyway, so yeah, bonnet's off, and now we can get that work on getting that strip off. The scuttle is over here. Just turn you around, and it's pretty much surface rust. This is paint, or no, that's what I point the camera at it. This is the original paint, so well, maybe a layer of metal as well, but that'll sand back and treat. I'll investigate why it was rusty there. Handles for it as well, all taped up. The bonnet came off, which nearly smashed me in the face when I was doing that, which was handy. Fortunately, I didn't get it on video though, so none of you. Okay. From Mercedes. We had to get that. They couldn't find it on the Mercedes database because it was sold to the Danish Defence Ministry. So it's not on the actual Merc database. Well, Sicily's our local commercial dealer is. So we've had to apply for a letter for proof of what it is, basically, with the chassis number, the model number, when it was made. So we can then apply for Nova certification, so it's register it in the country. So once I just stepped on a leaf. So once we've got that, we can then apply for MOT, and then we can drive it about, which is obviously not in this condition. But while it's in this condition, we're looking at, well, we're seriously considering painting it, because I don't really want to put it all back together. See all the tape there, that's so I don't shut the doors. I've left the door catches in. That's the only things I've left in, because I didn't want to have to line them back up again, you know, they're fiddly. They'd probably go all right, but I didn't want to take the doors off or the door catches off, because I didn't want to hang the doors again, because they're all true. They're all nice and square at the moment. Anyway, paint. We're looking at painting it ourselves, because now it's stripped back. I've got the holes to fill in the roof, which are up there, which I took out the other week. The lights, the holes for the lights and things. But yeah, there's no point putting it all back together, to take it all apart again, get it back here, take it all apart, and paint it. So we think in the next couple of weeks, maybe we'll get some paint on it, which is tricky because we've got to decide on the colour now. We've been back and forth on that. We were thinking of blue, dark blue for the cab originally, then grey for the box. But now we're thinking, well, we don't know, paler colours, Land Rover colours, the old classic type of colours, they look really smart, so whether they'll work on that, we might have to do some test patches. We're thinking consensus is probably a bedliner, like a Raptor paint or something like that, or something similar, because it's hard wearing, and adventure stripes down the side of it don't matter so much. And if you've got a £3 glossy paint job, you cry a bit when you scratch it. So it's going to be a truck that's used. It's not going to be a concours winner, so bedline it and carry on. And then we can start putting all the bits back on after that, which means that we can then get it down to Alpine, Overland, who are going to build the box for us. They need it for I don't know, a couple of weeks probably. And then that's on the 16th of December, so hopefully we can get it painted, assembled and registered and MOT before then, because we're now on the 10th of October. Don't know. Apparently it can take weeks with the DVLA or HMRC. We just don't know. Fingers crossed we can do that, so we can then start driving it about. Other than that, we're going to have to put it on a low loader and get it down to them, and then get it back. So that won't be cheap. But it'd be nice to be able to drive the thing around the country for once, instead of having it delivered everywhere in the back of other wagons. But we need, like I say, we need some work for that, and the tyres and underrun bars and all that nonsense. So yeah, ongoing. I think that's it for now. Like I say, tomorrow I'll take that off, the sun visor, then the carb is bare enough, ready for any work I want to do on it. Can line all the doors inside. Once we clean all it, this all grease, you can see it in there now. It's gross, really manky dried, well, semi-dried grease, so it gets everywhere and doesn't come off easily. So I'll probably have to steam all that off, and then we can get sound deadening in, and then insulation, and then I can get the doors back together after we painted it. There we go. I think I'll leave you there for now. Cheers.